Hi there and welcome to the Cosmic Mystics Full Moon Report for January 2026. We're going to have a full moon in the constellation of Gemini. It will be at 2:03 in the morning on the 3rd of January. So if you're in the United States, you'll be able to see it on the evening of January 2nd. And if you're in Europe, it will be more likely on the evening of the 3rd of January. So this full moon is the next phase of the new moon that we had on December 19th that was at the galactic center. And I consider this to be the beginning of a new lunar year, this new moon in Ophiuchus at the galactic center. And so what we're going to see now with this full moon is how these seeds we planted from December 19th are growing and what's culminating, what's showing up around the full moon, which is halfway through the lunar month. And it's sort of the peak of the energy of what began on December 19th. So we have a very dynamic chart here with the full moon opposite to the sun, which is how it always is. The moon doesn't shine any light of its own. It reflects the light of the sun. So in that way, it's very interesting also to look at what's going on with the sun, because that's the light, that's the frequency, the resonance that the moon is reflecting down to us. So in this chart, at the bottom here, you can see the sun, Mercury, Venus, and Mars, all in the sign, in the constellation of Sagittarius. And the sun is conjunct Venus and Mars. So those three luminaries, those planets are opposite to the moon in Gemini, and also to Jupiter, who is retrograde in Gemini. So this sets up a very powerful dynamic. I would say this is going to be a very social full moon. Gemini is a very social planet or constellation. It has a lot to do with our local environment and communication and trade and business. And so it's quite an active sign in terms of communication and writing, speaking, conversations. And with the Venus-Mars conjunction with the Sun, I would also say it's going to be a very interesting full moon for relationships and communication in relationships, since we have also Mercury there in Sagittarius. It also could be a very interesting time in terms of our inner work with the inner male and female, or you could say the left brain being the male and the right brain being the female. So there could also be a lot going on internally where we have the opportunity to merge, to find the middle, to find more balance and more truth in our experience of our own inner energies and bringing them into more harmony, because they're all in the same constellation here. So there's a natural harmony that's being reflected down to us from the full moon, that the source of which is this combining of energies of our local planets with the sun. So I would say communication is going to be a very big theme for this full moon, and also possibly getting out and socializing. It could be a very social full moon. And with Jupiter there in Gemini, that's also bringing in a lot of reflection, because he's retrograde, on ways in which we want to expand our relationships, and especially romantic relationships, marriages, any kind of partnerships. We'll be looking at how we want those to expand and what is the truth of them, looking at them in a very realistic, truthful way. We'll have the opportunity to do that with Jupiter here. And also looking at, what is presently true for us. Sagittarius has a lot to do with our own truth on a bigger level, not just on the self level, but on the level of our place in the universe and our unique design and what we're here to shine and what we're here to experience. So I would say there'll be a lot of truth that will come through during this full moon, a few days before, a few days after, and we could find ourselves really getting to the truth of things that we may have had a difficult time seeing clearly. So all in all, this could be a very powerful and positive full moon, especially if you're single and you're not in a relationship. This would be a great full moon to go out and do something socially in an environment that you enjoy being in. Like if you enjoy being in nature, going out and hiking, or if you enjoy listening to music, going to your favorite music place and, bringing some friends with you. There's a lot of potential for celebration in this lineup and fun. Jupiter is a planet of expansion, and it has a very abundant, beneficial, jubilant energy, which can be very present with the closeness that it is to the moon. It's not conjunct the moon, but they're in the same constellation. So the vibrations of Jupiter are definitely also being reflected off the moon during this full moon. And down there on the right-hand side of the chart, we have Neptune and Saturn getting closer to each other. I've done some videos on this conjunction that's coming up in the middle of February, but there's some very nice aspects between Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus, and also Pluto. So a lot of harmonious flow of energy going on with the outer planets, and bringing in a very grounding energy, because Uranus is in Taurus, Pluto is in Capricorn. These are both earth signs. So slowing things down, bringing in a more grounded quality to the energy. And then we have Saturn and Neptune in Pisces, which has a lot to do with mysticism and our spiritual connection and our deep feelings. Also our deep feelings about our place in the world and how we show up in relationships and how we show up for ourselves in relationships. So a lot of, not a huge amount going on in this chart. It seems to me like a very simple full moon, but yet full of intensity with these oppositions going on between the Sun, Venus, Mars, over to Jupiter and the full moon. So with Mercury there in Sagittarius, you may find yourself researching to do with the truth, getting to the bottom of something. This is a great time to do some research if there's something that you want to look into. It could even be practical things, but there's a great opening here to get to the truth of things for yourself with all this support in Sagittarius. And also probably a feeling of, adventurousness and wanting to go on an adventure, whether it's internally or with a partner or with a friend, but some kind of adventurous energy coming in with all this Sagittarius and expanding out of your local environment, out of the small environment into a bigger picture. So all in all, I would say a full moon which can include a lot of celebration with the other, and also with friends, and also with yourself, and a full moon that can bring in a lot of grounding, especially with our bodies, with these earth signs, and with our nervous systems, sort of slowing us down, because this Gemini Sagittarius polarity can be quite active mentally, a lot going on in the mind. And so it's really nice to have these outer planets in very grounded signs, slowing us down, bringing us back into the moment, back into our moment-to-moment experience, and also back into our physical experience, paying attention to what's going on in our body, how our body's responding, and giving some love and attention to the body, maybe through this full moon energy, doing some things that are very nurturing to yourself and to your body that you enjoy. So I think that's about it. That's really all I have to say about the full moon. After the full moon starts to move forward and the energy starts to die down a little bit, we'll be entering into the second quarter, and actually the third quarter of the lunar cycle. And the third quarter of the lunar cycle can be very action oriented, that things that you have seen and things that have come to fruition during the full moon can then start to be implemented and put into action, and you can see the physical, tangible results going all the way back to the new moon, to the seeds that were planted on December 19th, starting to show up in your life, in your internal experience, in a more tangible way, where you can actually see the progress that you've been making and the transformation that's been going on. Because Sagittarius is also quite a transformational sign in terms of the truth. Because just seeing the truth, just being aware of your own truth and being honest with yourself and being honest with the other can be very transformational. So this could continue to play out during the third quarter phase. And then as we move into the fourth quarter, the week before the next new moon, the energies will slow down and we'll have a chance to relax and rest and reflect and integrate and digest everything that's been going on during this lunar month since December 19th. So wishing you a beautiful, fun, playful, insightful full moon in Gemini, and I look forward to coming back and talking to you about what's going on in the sky later on in 2026 in January, and wishing everyone a really, really beautiful, happy, wonderful new year in 2026.